Alright, welcome to another figure updates video. Alright, and so for this video, it is March 27th. I'll have this out on March 28th. And let's go right into it. This past week, I emailed Hobby Genki about my RFXJ Makizenin figure. So it looks like they didn't have enough, so they basically refunded me. I just got the refund today, and I actually went on the Crunchyroll store and just bought it off the Crunchyroll store. You know what? I actually saved money by doing that, so I'm actually okay with that. They actually did give me an offer of they'll give me the standard one, and then they'll just comp me an extra 1,000 yen. But at the end of the day, I wanted the bonus face, so I went out to Crunchyroll and bought it there. And one other thing on this past week that I did, I've been waiting for so long for the Bakugo S-Fire. I ended up canceling the S-Fire figure, and I feel like I could probably still get it down the line. I feel like he's gonna be hanging around for a bit. So if I do want him still, maybe more towards summer, I am probably will get him then. But as a pre-order, I really don't want to pay for him right now because, guys, I started watching One Piece. Yes, One Piece.
Masako.
It has been a while, a long minute, before I ever tried to really get into One Piece. So I'm on episode 68 right now, guys. Episode 68. And you know what? I really enjoyed it because this whole month of March, I needed some anime to watch. One Piece is one of those animes where there's nothing like One Piece for me right now. I don't know if you guys watch another kind of One Piece like anime, shonen like, but there's nothing like that for me. And I'm actually getting really into it. The whole month I watched 68 episodes. So we can, I can assume that I'm going to get around like 75-ish episodes. So if I can average 75 episodes a month, I can freaking catch up on One Piece probably before the end of the year ends. So I went after and looked up a bunch of One Piece figures, and I always like the Megahouse figures. So I pulled up all of these Megahouse figures for One Piece that I want to get right now. There's the Luffy Megahouse one is still available on a lot of US retail stores, so I'm going to go after that. So here is the Portrait of Pirates Warriors Alliance. There's another one, the Zoro one, that I want to go after. But the thing is, guys, like I told myself, when I buy these, I'm not going to open it until I catch up on One Piece. So I want to unbox it all at the end when I actually understand what the heck I'm looking at. But as of episode 68, I know all the main characters right now. But yeah, all these cool figures, like I don't want to miss out on these by the time I catch up. So it's going to be so gratifying at the end when I'm able to catch up and I'm able to open up these figures. And then I get to realize, wow, this is the figure that I probably would want. So I kind of have a good eye for what I want out of these figures. So the Portrait of Pirates of Megahouse seems to be a very good line. And it looks like it's pretty hard to get your hands on some of these. So I want to be able to get on them while I have the chance while they're available. So Nami Warriors Alliance, the 1/8 scale from Megahouse. It came out in 2020, but they had a re-release. So I want to be able to get my hands on this. And here is the Playback Memories. This came out a year and a half ago, I believe, but it's still available on Big Bad Toy Store. There's about 12 of them left. So I'm probably going to pick her up off of Big Bad Toy Store. So I'm just watching a lot of these as they're still available. So as it gets closer to not being available, I'm gonna buy it. So that's where one of my Bakugo money, like that 200 bucks, is probably gonna go to the Luffy one. So here, the Playback Memories. I want to get this, very classic, because that is where I'm at right now. She still looks like this. There's no time skip yet in One Piece. This one is actually coming out the end of the year. It says just Bandai Spirits, but all the other kind of websites label it as Megahouse, so I'm assuming it's Megahouse. Bandai, almost the same thing anyways, just a subsidiary. The 3-sword style of Nami, I'm super curious how it got to this point of where she learned a 3-sword style. That's really cool. So I want to buy this end of the year right now. I want to buy this. I'm not going to pre-order it, but I assume it's going to be available for me to kind of, buy by the end of the year anyways. The Sanji, the Osoba mask, like I don't even know what the heck this is yet. I know Sanji, but I don't know how he got to this point. So this is a whole spoiler for me as well. But I've seen there's many. Akiba Soul still has them. USA Gundam, I think, still has. Like, there's plenty of websites, especially if you're located in the US, that still has this Sanji figure. So I am keeping my eye on this too, and I'm trying to save up some money to kind of make sure I buy all the ones that are in stock right now. So that's where I'm at with that. There's also a couple of the Zoro ones. Zoro, this is, yeah, man. Wow, Maximum. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what any of this stuff is, but I know Zoro, and this is Time Skip Zoro. I am nowhere near close to any of this stuff or knowing any of this, so this is all kind of spoilers for me. But Zoro is my favorite One Piece character right now. And then Nami, then probably Luffy, then Sanji, Sanji, then Luffy. I don't know how I feel, but Usopp is definitely at the bottom. Sorry, Usopp. Zoro, I definitely want Zoro. And here's the Portrait of Pirates Warriors Alliance Zoro. Definitely want this one as well. So, I mean, since I'm kind of late with some of these figures, I can't really catch it from Japan right now. So it's most likely I'm going to be buying from US stores. So yeah, that's going to be where a lot of my money in the next few months is going to be going, except obviously the Nami ones that are going to come like at the end of the year. I think Crunchyroll said that they're going to catch this Nami, catch the Warriors Alliance Nami in this month, but it's probably coming soon, hopefully in the next couple months. I'm definitely going to buy it right away. This is probably going to be my #1 thing I'm going to buy after the Luffy one, which makes me want to go grab that Luffy real quick. This is the Luffy Warriors Alliance. I don't think I've seen much scales of Luffy, so this is like one of the ones that I have to get if I want a Luffy scale. Otherwise, I'm stuck on Chiban Kujis and all the other kind of Bandai kind of prize Luffys. So I have to get the Megahouse one. But yeah, I mean, how his face is like sculpted and everything, it looks good. Like all the Megahouse ones, let me just run by all like the quality, how I think about the quality. I mean, it all looks pretty damn good. How they sculpt it, they're all very affordable. They're mostly gonna be all under 200 bucks. So it's like the price to me is not that big of a deal at all. The Sanji one, I'm probably gonna end up spending like 170. The Luffy one, I'm spending around $157 for it. Zoro, he's the one that is probably going to be around 200 to 250 depending on where I get it. Same thing with this Zoro as well, the Warriors Alliance one. So I set myself up to have a great gratifying end to my One Piece adventure. I hope that I could get my hands on them. I hope the sooner I can finish One Piece, the sooner, I'll feel good about it. So yeah, let's go on to the next figure right here. Phoenix Gojo, and it looks like they made their own damn monochrome one. So if you guys haven't checked out my Gojo unboxing review kind of video for it, go check that out. But it looks like, I don't know why they decided this, but they definitely, I don't think most people really want this. Like, I don't think no one's really asking for some ghoulish, zombie-ish monochrome Gojo. No one's asking for this. No one even really wants the eStream monochrome one. Like, I haven't seen, I don't know. Well, then again, I haven't been looking out there for information on the eStream monochrome, who's actually trying to buy it. But at the end of the day, people want just regular Gojo. They don't need a variant color of Gojo. So this one doesn't really make that much sense to me. I think someone in the My Figure collection talked about how this one, you see how this one has the lining right here. A lot of people were complaining about it, but it didn't really bother me personally. But here they actually edited that part out. So I guess maybe this one they'll fix the lining right there. But I mean, personally, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I think something that's more egregious is like the Tanjiro Oniplex one. But yeah, this is a hard pass, man. Phoenix has been like heavily, I don't know, man. I just take a crap on them so much. I mean, I'm never going to get any kind of sponsorships or anything like that down the line from them. They're never going to give me a figure, hey, review this or anything like that. Fruity will never do that. I don't even know if that's a thing for anime figures, if they do that for reviews. But that's not something I ever want to actually do. Like, I want to actually buy a figure because that's when you get a true review over something. When you committed your own money, when you get something for free, like, obviously you feel like you won. So it's a little bit different as a review when you spend your hard-earned money, $200 on this, Phoenix Gojo. If I got a free, you know, monochrome zombie Gojo like this, like, I'm gonna be pretty happy if I got it free. But if I'm spending $200, which is 99.999% of everyone else, I mean, I'm gonna feel pretty crappy. So purchasing something with your own money is very, very, it matters a lot. It just matters a lot in terms of a true review, because now you're committing that money that had to work your hard earned blood, sweat, and tears for, and you're spending that on some zombie Gojo. I wouldn't be very happy. This is not something I'd be after. Just thought I'd mention it. I pulled it up on the community section of my YouTube. And also, guys, in like that One Piece, I'm probably gonna make a video, an anime video for that on my other channel. I'm just really excited about One Piece. I didn't think I'd be that happy over One Piece, but the number one thing that I'm actually looking forward to each and every day until like Demon Slayer and all these other animes start to come out in April. But yeah, this next figure right here, Mirio of My Hero Academia. This is the deluxe version. So basically there's a regular one and then there's the deluxe one. The deluxe one has like this removable wall. And if there was any of like the three, I know what's their names? The other two, I already forgot the names. I'm so sorry, My Hero Academia fans. But for me, I'm just not that. I pretty much stopped watching the anime. I just almost exclusively read it. But now they have the America hero, and I'm really, really looking forward to that actually in the anime. But if you guys had any of the, Belfine kind of My Hero Academia figures like this, I got the Yaoyorozu Momo one. So if you guys want to check out that video that I made on that, I kind of like it. I like it. It's very affordable. The base actually feels really cheap. So it's kind of like their way to kind of make something exciting while being like super cost friendly. Like when you touch it, it's like just plastic, man, just plastic. But the figure itself, it's decent. It is a decent scale. But the fact that it's a removable wall and it's a wall nonetheless for Mirio, it's very on character, very on par with the figure right here. So this dude is just so creepy, man. Oh man, he's such a weirdo creep. Mirio, to me, he's your typical square character. He's just a hero, right? A square. That's who he is. He doesn't really have any other personality than being the typical shonen hero. That is just who he is. I really like the figure. It's not something that I'm like pre-ordering. It's all available everywhere right now for pre-order. If I see it down the line, maybe if it's on a deal, a sale or something, that I might grab him. But as of right now, there's so many other things that I'm like going after, which puts him like closer at the bottom of the list. Nevertheless, he looks pretty cool. He looks like he's going to be made decent. Obviously, once he comes out, I'll probably have a lot of time to kind of confirm and look at people's pictures to kind of see how it all turned out. But the way he made his face, the way that they sculpted his hair, it all looks pretty damn good. Here are a couple of the other scales. Very surprising scales, actually. So, Demon Slayer, Phat Company made 1/7 scales of Makomo and Sabito. So if you guys watch Demon Slayer, this is in season 1. They're both characters that have a very, very small role in the show. They're only in season 1. They're not going to be in season 2. They're probably not going to be in season 3. They're just characters that are talked about, right? They're very, very, very minor characters. Like, you only see these kind of characters for Sabito and Makomo as prize figures. I don't even know how people become real big fans of them to really collect Demon Slayer. Like, the reason why I would ever collect it is because I'm collecting literally everything in Demon Slayer. That's the only reason why I would collect these two characters. But the fact that they made them, I can't hate. I mean, if they're gonna make it, I'm sure there's fans and stuff that are going after all these Demon Slayer scales, and they actually look decent. Just at the top of his hair, though, I kind of, for Sabito right here, his hair, there's like that little crack in his hair. I don't know how they're really gonna do it. It probably comes with like different face plates for like the mask. That's why it's kind of like that. But yeah, they're actually very affordable. It's only about like 18,000 yen. You're basically looking at, let's say, like $150 for this character, for both of them each. It's gonna be around that amount. Let's say 160 for either one of them. Just thought this was very interesting to point out that, prize figure characters that end up getting the scale treatment while these other characters, like I said, Kagano off of the Imminence Shadow, doesn't even have any of this at all. It kind of just tells you the level of popularity of Demon Slayer, that they're willing to still make this and think that they can make money off of making scales of these characters. But Sabito, he's definitely one of the ones that actually looks like something cool that I would get. Very honorable character. Makomo, the same thing. So yeah, interesting. Phat Company. Sabito, Makomo. And the next figure we're going to take a look at is Yu-Gi-Oh! And surprisingly, it is not Megahouse. It is not Megahouse. It is eStream. It's the Gemini Elf. If you guys ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid, or you still play Yu-Gi-Oh!, Gemini Elf is like a cheat code, man. The 1900 attack can beat like almost anything on a single summon. So that's how this card was so damn valuable. Low defense, but who the hell cares, right? You're summoning him to kill him. But at the end of the day, the big controversy here is the Gemini Elf costs a lot of money. So you're looking at almost 34,000 yen. And as you can see right here, about 255 bucks. And you got to think with the shipping and everything, if you're doing DHL, you're looking at a good like 280, 290, maybe even 300 for this figure. And of course, we know eStream, Shibuya Scramble figure, all their scales are very, very pricey. They are positioning themselves to be premium branded figures, and their figures have been, I wouldn't say hit or miss, but I think they've gotten such a bad rap early where their reputation kind of outweighed what their actual work is. I think their work for some of their figures are actually pretty damn good. And I think although the prices maybe tend to run a little bit higher, definitely on the higher end, but I think as long as the quality is very good, if it stays good to very good, I mean, you could probably convince yourself to buy it and still be happy with it. I think that's kind of like the fine line we're looking at here. And the thing is, the argument that they could make is like there's two figures for one scale, right? On one whole figure, because it's two elves, Gemini Elf, right? To me, this is one of those ones where it just looks, they look pretty plain. They have more of a vibrant bluish kind of colors to them. How their, hair sculpt looks is kind of like, it looks okay. It's just one of those things where you kind of have to see this in person because it just feels their pictures are all very digitized, and it looks like very heavily photoshopped. The way it comes out on the pictures makes it look pretty damn real. Not gonna lie, like how their skin is kind of being like how it looks very real. You kind of get the little muscle parts, around her armpit right here, the shape of her, her chest right here. I mean, I kind of like it, just looks really realistic. But even their legs, the way that they sculpted their legs look pretty damn realistic. That's what I like. It just comes out to like kind of like the color, the shading there, and kind of how the hair sculpt looks very it looks very iffy, man. I'm not too sure of how I feel about this. So that real in-person picture is going to matter a lot of how I kind of look at their hair. It looks just very, very prize like of kind of a hair sculpt. So that is probably my number one thing that I'm kind of scared of. Their faces look decent how it's sculpted, so it's just really hard to kind of gauge because they're just a card, right? And maybe there's some anime images of them, but for a whopping like 255 bucks just for the figure price itself, looking at that $300 price tag is probably where you're looking at, especially with fast shipping. I'm not too sure. It's definitely overpriced. It just comes down to how close to the quality. If it actually turns out to be a lot better or just marginally better than what the pictures show, I mean, I could find myself kind of buying this if it turned out to be okay. But Gemini Elf is not like a very iconic, iconic is kind of overused term, but definitely a very, very important Yu-Gi-Oh card of all time right here. Is definitely one of the most important, most powerful cards that holds in Yu-Gi-Oh. When it officially comes out and there's pictures and stuff, like I want to kind of gauge of how good it actually looks, and then it's hard for me to kind of see this selling out, even though it could be kind of limited like that. But yeah, I'll be keeping my eyes on this. There's a lot of these kind of figures where it's just like, oh, I'll just keep my eye on it and see what kind of happens later on. So yeah, Gemini Elf, Yu-Gi-Oh! All right, and here comes all the other figures that I really just want to touch base on. Like, it's not gonna be something in my wheelhouse, but I saw kind of pop up. But you know, Myethos is coming out with the Neon Genesis figures. You have Asuka Langley, and then you have Rei. There's really not much pictures of it. I just want to kind of mention that they are making it. And for these kind of figures, obviously the dress and stuff, like, it's very easy to find a girl character, put her in a dress, make her look very cute, and you kind of have a broad audience of people, especially girls that would buy these kind of scales. For me though, like, I'm not trying to buy anything quite like that. I just like looking at it and kind of seeing how the quality turns out. Like, I'm looking at her hair, how they sculpt her face, how they do her face expressions, how they pose her. You know, I'm kind of like digging it. But obviously with more pictures, you kind of get a better idea of it. But the Rei one, I kind of like how Rei is posed right here. I I like how they, you know, just from this one image, it's kind of hard to tell. It's not the best image in the world right now, but how they kind of sculpted her face, it looks like Rei. How they made her hair, this is the quintessential Rei look, like the classic look of how she's supposed to, at least from the original series. I still have not watched any of the newer movies. That at some point I'm going to be watching it. But yeah, Asuka and Rei on Myethos. Just thought, you know, it popped up recently, and I'm sure there's going to be fans that might be going after them. And of course, who do we have to talk about? We have to talk about Rimuru Tempest, the demon lord himself, herself, itself, the slime monster self. But it is Phoenix. It is Phoenix again, a 1/7 scale. I don't know. I mean, because Rimuru is posable for a guy and a girl, obviously, like what I just said with the Rei and Asuka, putting them in a dress, like, that's not something I'll be after. I like the colors. The blue colors, I just like teal, kind of like pastel-ish kind of colors. I just like that color palette. I'm always a big fan of that. That kind of like frosted kind of white and blue. I just love those colors. And I kind of like the balance between like this, what color is this? Like a cream, yellow, creamish kind of color with that blue teal pastel color. I love that. Don't really care about the pose. I like that, you know, the Rimuru slime is right there. I like that. But I just don't like how Rimuru looks. That face expression, I mean, there's only one, right? Only one picture right now. Little tease for us, right? I mean, they put little flowers in Rimuru's head, but the face expression is kind of like, I don't quite get. I get that Rimuru, he doesn't want to be dressed up as a girl, so it's kind of like the face where they're like, you know, Shio and Shuna, they're all having fun kind of dressing up Rimuru, and he's like, nah, don't do this to me. So that's kind of the vibe that I get from this. So I think I get what they're going for here. And it's the same kind of idea with the bunny Rimuru, because Rimuru on his face is like, damn it, they put me in a bunny outfit. I get it. I get it. Rimuru doesn't want to be in these kind of dressed up as, especially like as a girl, because on the inside he's a guy, right? But the another important thing to note is like they put Rimuru, it's kind of like it's tilted, right? So I have to assume if Rimuru is going to be kind of tilted like this, they're probably going to put him on a platform of some sort where there's going to be something to kind of hold Rimuru up. Because obviously, if it's just one little thing right here, it's not going to stand, right? It has to be on a base. So either this little red square thing is going to be a base for Rimuru or something. Like, I don't know. I guess it's one little picture, and we can always like speculate on how they're going to do this. But one thing is that we could judge from this, it's going to be tilted. It's going to be, you know, falling over. Obviously, with anime figures over time, it's going to slightly start to tilt and, you know, fall over. So it only makes sense that they put Rimuru on a base with a little stand to kind of help it hold up. And you could kind of still hide it with, you know, those clear little stand tube things. Not something that I would buy, but it's always interesting fascinating to note what these figure companies are making, so we kind of get a good idea and kind of like judging their quality too. I just like looking at certain figures and take note of who's making it, right? So we know the company that's going to manufacture Fruity and it's under Finex, but I mean the artists and all that stuff like that matters. That matters. Over time you kind of gravitate towards certain artists, but sometimes certain artists, they have so many figures where like I guess it doesn't really matter. It just comes down to figure by figure. You know, I don't really actually follow any specific artists. But yeah, Finex is just always been more on the disappointing side. I feel like I crap on them too much, so I just want to kind of stay away from like doing that so often. The next figure is a Nendoroid. Now, you might be asking, why am I talking about Nendoroids? Nendoroids, I don't really collect them anymore, but this one might be a unique situation where I still buy it because it's Nozawa Masako Nozawa. Who is that? It is a legendary voice actor of Goku, Gohan, and I think maybe even Goten as well. But obviously, the main one is she's been voicing Goku all this time in Japan. So to have a legendary person, Nendoroid, to collect from, that's something that I'll probably buy. I'll probably buy this Nendoroid over. My comment is still at the very top right here. Such a legend, man. And alright guys, and the rest of the figures are all just kind of figures that I seen pop up recently. It's not anything that I'm really into, but Genshin Impact, they're coming out with under Apex Innovation. I think it's a Chinese company, right? They have a bunch of scales coming out for Genshin Impact, and I just thought that I'll pick one of them because there's like 5-6 of them to kind of pull up. But Apex Innovation is something that I kind of want to get my hands on one of their figures because they looks like they do a pretty decent job, pretty damn affordable. You know, here's only like 15,000 yen. How much is that? 115. Probably fast shipping. You're probably looking at 150. So all their figures are very affordable. Look, they look decent. Just Genshin Impact 1/7 scales. There's like 5 of them that they're coming out with. And here is like Apex Innovation for Rimuru Tempest. I know this one right here, I couldn't find any of these in the US, but this Rimuru and Ranga right here, they were actually available. I think an Australian store was getting them. And I actually thought really hard about buying it from Australia too. So this is a very kind of limited Rimuru figure right here that I don't think a lot of people are going to have. Very exclusive. Very exclusive. A couple things I'm somewhat familiar with. You have like Mushoku Tensei, the Jobless Reincarnation. I think that's what it is, right? That's another anime that I'm gonna start watching because they just announced a season 2 for it, so I definitely need to watch it before season 2 drops, or maybe I'll just kind of wait until it comes out then. Yeah, this next two is the High School DD. I kind of just read the plot synopsis or whatever for this, and it was pretty funny. So it's just about fallen angels, devils, that type of thing. Some dude that he gets killed by these characters, and then he got reincarnated as like a devil or something. Now he's a slave, so he's basically like a simp for these like really hot looking kind of girl characters right here. So that's about all I know about the anime, but I just, you know, KDcolle, under KDcolle collection, their kind of scales, they're coming out with some interesting scale figures, and I'm just keeping my eye on them to kind of see what other stuff kind of pops up. I'm waiting for a lot more Eminence and Shadow figures to pop up. That would be something I'm after. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. There weren't that many things to really talk about this week. I dropped my S-Fire Bakugo. I'm going to go after a lot of these One Piece figures like right now while I have the chance. And then some of the upcoming ones. That is pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about any of these figures. It's your boy Otaku-san, and I appreciate you guys once again for watching the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my other anime channel. Check out my blog at otakusen.com. Join the Discord if you guys want to talk anime figures and such. If there's something you guys want me to pull up onto the figure updates video, just join the Discord and we can chop it up there. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video.